Hi everybody, it's Kathy, here to talk to you a little bit today about a little more serious subject matter. I usually like to talk about things that are more positive, but this is a problem that a lot of people are facing in life today, especially seniors. So I'd like to just read this article that I just put out on Medium. It's called "You Are Never Alone." And there are so many people living alone today who really feel so sad and separate from the world. So I'm trying to find some way to help them. And I appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel and come back and feel as though you have a friend in your time of need if you are one of these sad or lonely people who perhaps have lost a wife or husband, a child, a very best friend. Anyway, let me read the story, and you can give me feedback on the comments if you get a chance, but I would really love to help you in this situation. Anyway, let me just read the article for you. It's called "You Are Never Alone," and this is a picture that I made to indicate that. It's a really heart-rendering picture showing loneliness and people suffering. This man is really suffering. We really need to help each other in life. Anyway, the story goes, loneliness is indeed the universal affliction of our time. No matter how old you are or where you live, this dis-ease strikes. Often it is the result of the loss of a spouse or partner or child that prompts this condition. But for some, it can even be a permanent condition. This is particularly prevalent in the elderly, since they are more likely to have lost family members and friends, and very often they are living alone. I have a heightened awareness of this right now as my sister passed away last month, leaving her husband alone for the first time in 50 years. Well, he's soldiering through, but it has to be heartbreaking and very lonely for him. When I asked him how he was doing, he replied, "When he's busy, he manages to get by. Then he will find a sock of hers in the laundry room that has fallen behind the washer, and his ache begins again. If he drives her car and hears her music, it triggers memories, which is all he has right now." Even on the more practical side, he relates miserable experiences with Social Security and banking issues to deal with. All this just compounds the feeling that you are fighting a lonely, losing battle. When a spouse dies, the remaining spouse has to pick up the duties of that spouse at the same time he or she is trying to balance sadness and loneliness. That's a tough road to hoe. After the initial storm, things quiet down a bit, but the loneliness never seems to quit. There are so many people in this sad situation. For many people, the hardest part is not just grief itself, but learning how to live alone after years of companionship. I know you know what I'm talking about. But even in the quietest moments of grief, there is an important truth worth remembering. You are never truly alone. How does one get back into life? Understanding the nature of grief. Grief is not something to get over quickly. It's something we learn to carry. Some days it feels lighter, and some days it feels heavy again. This is normal. There is a saying that Time heals all wounds. So people in this situation need to give themselves a little grace and not expect an instant move on from the pain approach. Many widows and widowers find themselves asking questions like, who am I now? What is my purpose moving forward? How do I fill the empty spaces in my life? For many people, spirituality or faith becomes a powerful source of healing after the loss of a spouse or any other person close to them. Whether through prayer, meditation, sacred texts, or quiet reflection, spirituality reminds us that love does not simply disappear. Many faith traditions teach that relationships continue in a spiritual way, even after death. Belief in something larger than ourselves, God, the universe, or a greater spiritual connection can bring comfort in moments when the loneliness feels strongest. Spiritual practices can help you. Prayer or meditation, which allows space to speak honestly about your pain and hopes. Attending religious services or spiritual gatherings, which provide community and spirit support. Reading spiritual or inspirational writings that remind us we are part of a greater story. Faith does not erase grief, but it can help transform loneliness into connection, and we need connection at this time. Creating new daily rhythms. One of the most practical ways to cope with living alone is to create new routines. Especially after a spouse passes, daily life can feel unstructured and disorienting. So establish simple rhythms helps rebuild stability. For example, take a walk each morning, cook one healthy meal each day, call a friend or family member regularly, spend time outdoors whenever possible. Small routines restore a sense of control and purpose. Also, staying connected with others. Remember, loneliness grows in isolation. Even if it feels difficult at first, reaching out to others can make a meaningful difference. After the initial shock of loss, consider joining community groups or clubs, volunteering for causes you care about, participating in faith communities, attending local classes or workshops. Many people discover that helping others becomes one of the most healing paths through grief. And then finally, honoring the love that remains. The goal after losing a spouse is not to forget them or move on as if they never existed. Instead, it is about learning to carry their love forward in a new way. Some people honor their spouse by continuing traditions they shared, supporting causes their spouse cared about, sharing stories with children, grandchildren, or friends, creating memorial projects or charitable efforts. Love never ends when physical life ends, but it does indeed change form. Learning to enjoy solitude again. There is a difference between loneliness and solitude. While loneliness feels empty, solitude can be peaceful. Over time, many people learn to rediscover themselves, reading books they never had time for before, pursuing hobbies, traveling, or learning new skills. These experiences do not replace the person who was lost. Instead, they help you reconnect with the life that still lies ahead. The quiet truth. In the deepest moments of grief, it may feel as though the world has become smaller and more quiet. But your spouse's love, the memories you shared, the people who care about you, and the spiritual presence that many believe surrounds us all remain part of your life. You are connected to family, community, faith, and the countless unseen threads that bind human hearts together. Throughout the healing process, even in the moments when you feel most alone, you are never truly alone. And I hope that you will come back here, especially if you are lonely. Subscribe to this channel. You will find companionship here, a sympathetic ear, and my heartfelt gratitude for coming back. Thank you so much. I'd appreciate it if you would put some comments and let me know how you feel about this. And I hope that I have been helping you in whatever small way I possibly can. Thank you so much. Have a better day. Love you all.